Hello, everyone. Welcome you all to this special session focusing on the Executive Diploma 360 degrees, which is we offer for the rubber industry technology and management. We have started this batch in June, first week of June, and I'm with our participant, Mr. Zander Byrne. He is a laboratory technician at the fluid compounders based in UK. So this session is about how he is doing with this program. Started in June. We're almost midway, okay, of the program. So the idea is to have the first-hand feedback so that the future participants will have a better idea what they're getting into. Okay, this is a unique program, as many of you know. It's a unique and universal. It is intensive program as well, time-consuming at the same, but you have 3 months time to finish it. So, Zander, thank you for accepting my invitation to give your feedback on this program. So, how are you, man?
Not too bad, thank you. Thank you very much for having me, for giving me the chance to voice some feedback, so to speak. As you say, it's been a rather busy month, / month and a half, and we're approaching the midway point. Plenty more to go, but it's been a bit of a ride already so far.
Yeah, and I can feel it. That's what I was mentioning in the beginning itself. It's going to be hectic 3 month schedule. So,
yeah.
So I think so far we have done 40 plus modules, right? 43, I think 42 modules. Yeah, and still.
That's about right. Last time I looked at the list, yes.
Yeah. So first thing is maybe just for the sake of understanding about your experience for the to the audience, so what you currently do at fluid compounders, what is your role, how many years been working, or did you work before anywhere else, what kind of experience you do have?
I've worked at fluid compounds for I think this month, actually the end of this month marks 5 years I've been working there. That's when I was introduced to the rubber industry straight out of university. Started in the labs, just basic testing, handling rheology, hardness testing, SG testing, Wallace plasticity testings, some basic testings. As time went by, I then moved into the specification lab, where we handled more the tensile strength, the then before and afters of heat aging, oil testing, low temperature testing, numerous others that sort of quite come to mind right now, but I could list them if I needed to. From there, I then moved into development. That was quite a recent one within the last year or so, where I've then become more hands-on with, as suggest, development batches. In my instance, I'm working on the raw material side of things, finding alternative grades for already established compounds within the industry, specifically with FKM. Whether there's, depending on the awareness, the EU has made a bit of a push right now in that there's a potential overall blanket ban coming in for PFAS, which is just I forget the exact terminology, but basically fluorine-doped alkyl compounds. And there's a bit of a pushback happening right now because obviously that's very much a blanket umbrella style ban over numerous styles of compounds, of which all share very different properties and very different, well, from the ground up. You can compare olive oil to a plastic bag if you really if you went down to the hydrocarbon route as well. But yes, that's very much what I'm focused on right now. Finding the alternative grades, how they react to how they compare to one another, what can be done to formulations to make them function. And that's my current role right now, and that's been a big focus of mine pretty much since I started on development.
So you're enjoying the laboratory testing, or enjoying the development activities, which is a fun.
I'm very much growing in my new role a lot more, because obviously working in the lab, lab's a fantastic environment to get hands-on experience, learning the ins and outs of rubber. So obviously I came into the industry, as many do, with absolutely no knowledge whatsoever about rubber. Obviously the basic chemistry I could wrap my head around, but the proper nitty-gritty of it, absolutely no knowledge at all. So it was a chance to speak to the guys on the mills, because obviously they mix the stuff every day, speak to the technologists, speak to the lab staff. It's a good chance to get a good perspective. Now that I'm in development, I'm still doing the testing and all that, but I handle the weighing of batches, I handle the mixing of batches, the remixing of batches, the molding of sheets for testing, and then handling an entire batch from start to finish. And I've done that well over 100 times by this point on this particular project. So it's a
cool.
But it keeps the days a lot more varied, you know, and it means I have to sort of prioritize, create a proper priority list of what needs doing on any given day. Because obviously there are individual deadlines for each individual case, and obviously they mount up a lot over time.
Yeah, and maybe just for the audience sake, you know, can you briefly introduce about the fluid compounders? So what they're, you know, what kind of business they are in? I mean, I can say that, okay, of course, they're custom mixes. So give some highlights about the fluid, you know, the specialities about fluid.
Fluid is a company that's been operating for, I believe, well over 40 years by this point. It's very much a one-stop shop, handling from formulation to application. I believe someone's just arrived home. Do you mind if we pause for a second?
Okay, sure.
Shall we find out what's going on? Sorry. No, coming back. I'm just on a video conference. All right. It shouldn't take too long. Just have to disappear upstairs. Yeah, that's it. Shouldn't be too long. Cheers. Okay, sorry about that.
Are you good? Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Keep going. Someone's just arrived home. I wanted to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
let's talk about the fluid compounders. Yeah.
Yes, I mentioned they've been operating for over 40 years now. It's very much a one-stop facility, going straight from formulation to application, handling the whole process all the way through. All the raw materials delivered on site, all the formulating is done on site, the mixing is done on site, the communication with the customer is done on site. Make a massive array of compounds ranging from natural rubber to FFKM, perfluoroelastomers. Pretty much everything in between, give or take give or take certain ones, obviously. We provide compounded material to vast array of customers and sectors ranging from oil and gas, aerospace, military, quite a large one. Lots of very high-end customers, obviously. Other ones in there as well, but that's very much what we push for. Pushing for specialized polymers for the specialized sectors. And yeah, they've been providing me with a great many opportunities over the year to try and progress and learn more about the industry. And this diploma here obviously is one of those stepping stones.
Yeah, you know, this kind of business, you need to up to date on the various types of materials and various thousands of formulations and compounds. It's not like I said, you know,
by this point, I could say Fluid's like library goes well into the tens of thousands by this point, mountains of formulations, and it can get pretty crazy.
I can understand. So why do you choose to join this diploma program? Is it a boss ask you to do it, or you find it let's give it a try? What's it like? Yeah.
Fluid, training was very much a thing that Fluid were pushing for in the last year or so. A very big thing they wanted to start pushing harder. Alan, my manager, decided to take a premium corporate memberships for yourselves, Technobiz, and from there that granted us a lot of opportunities to join free webinars, get discounted rates for more bigger masterclasses and the likes. This diploma was obviously one of the main headings as well, which we were quite interested in, because obviously it is very large in scope, but it goes pretty much into very much the ins and outs of pretty much what any one person would need to know about the rubber industry from start to finish, really, and pretty much every aspect in between. And I expressed interest myself personally, though Alan did say he was interested on sending a few people on it. So we had a few of us going on a few more of the masterclasses, and myself and Rob on this course, as we've been sent on this diploma as a way of sort of, I think maybe just comparing the different approaches to training, you might say, seeing which approaches worked best in terms of numerous factors, work and training balance, etc. So I'd say yes. Alan wanted someone to send on it, my manager, but I did express personal interest of wanting to come on this. Yes.
Okay, good to know, man. Yeah. So as I mentioned to you in the program, it's 3 months long, is a pretty hectic. You have every day, Monday to Friday. at least 3 to 4 hours, some days a bit longer, some days shorter, but so how you're managing it for the last 1.5 months, of course we provide an opportunity. Suppose you miss some modules, you do have an opportunity to watch them later periods or in the same time, say in different time zones. So that is also an advantage, but it's definitely it is not like any movie story you can to learn every day, watch every day, or music to follow. It's a rubber technology, so much to take in. So how do you manage your, of course you do currently work in the company did not give you any leave, you had to work at the same time, you had to learn this one. So can you talk about how you are managing your time with this diploma?
Given Clwyd's push right now for training, they've been very understanding of the level of input that we need to put into this. So they have effectively allowed us to take half days working on site. That's been the same Monday to Friday as normal. And then with how the UK time zone works, we attended our lectures in the afternoon. And as you say, in the event something severe came along, which in my case thankfully only happened maybe 3 times, I would say not much more, the opportunity was then there to join a later time zone. In my case, the US time zone, which was my time later in the evening. But yeah, it's very much just been a case of everybody was aware. The two of us were now only working half days. We had to make allowances for that. So we've just tried to, and naturally things have fallen behind. It hasn't been quite as perfect as it could have been, but that just comes with the territory. You can't get both, unfortunately. If you're committing as much time as like I have to this diploma, it's going to cause other areas to slip a little bit. But it's not been dire. We've done the best we can. I work with a team, of course. We try to cover each other in places where we can. It's not always possible. But for the more severe mixes and the more severe customer formulations and batches of which they've ordered on a lab scale as trial batches, we try to pull together and do as much as we can so it causes the minimal amount of disruption.
Okay, good. And I think their boss is also understanding. Make sure that you have off day, you have a time to learn, and of course some days you had to excuse. And so I'm glad to know, Matt. I appreciate that. You're managing it with a few hiccups with the schedules. That's good. Okay. Yeah.
It's not been too bad.
Okay. Cool. One thing in this program is we call it a cross learning. Every participant had to contribute to their presentations based on their experience. This is one of the uniqueness of these programs because everybody is experienced. This program is not for the students, from the universities, are basically for the experienced people. So you have, I asked everybody to propose some topics, and I selected some of the topics that you proposed. So how was the experience? I think you already submitted your 4 presentations, and we need to record their, we need to think about schedules to record them now. Okay, the next part
that'll be the next step. Yes, it was obviously today I sent the last one over, so it's whether there's any little change and there's any little tweaks and changes that need to be made to them before the final recording. I'm quite glad to have got those done within the time frame.
Yeah. So what do you think about this exercise about preparing the presentation? So do you find it useful? What do you think about it?
I would say so, yes, because one of the things that I suppose can be taken away from the presentation is the overall diploma, I should say. As you say, we are all at varying levels of experience, but we all work within our sectors within the rubber industry. So quite a large portion of the presentations that we attend during the diploma have minimal impact on what it is we're actually doing in our jobs. Obviously, it's still brilliant. It's brilliant to get more perspectives from the different areas of the rubber industry, but being able to prepare our own presentations based on what we do and what we, what we're working towards, it's a good chance to kind of delve into your own knowledge on subjects that you are already somewhat confident about, or at least have a foundation to build on to then create the presentation. So it wasn't so much like a university assignment where you start from the beginning and you have to go and find the papers, find the knowledge, do it all from scratch, and because obviously that depending on the intensity of the assignments, that can take months. With being able to have the foundation and the opportunity really to just convey what we do, what we as individuals are interested in, what topics interest us, what do we potentially know a little bit more about than some other people who might be on the diploma, and by having multiple opportunities for every participant to do that, it's highly likely that we'll be quite surprised that obviously people working in different sectors, different parts of the rubber industry, will all have different amounts of things to say, which they'll be able
Yeah,
to hopefully convey with an amount of passion.
yeah,
Obviously, it's their
yeah.
job. It's what they focus on
Yeah.
day in, day out.
Yeah. See, the way we look at is, when you make a presentation, you have to make a presentation, and then you are the one who you understand, you learn more about your presentation than the audience, because the moment you start presenting, you have to make a sense why you are talking about what you're talking about it. So it should be, of course, you rightly said, it's not like a university, you had to start from scratch some assignment for exam purpose, because you already experienced, have this experience, and so you all need to put it in a systematic way to present to the audience or other participants. So I think for us, we think, yeah, it's a good thing. You share your experience, you at the same time you also polish the way how do you want to present it, and
Yeah.
it's a good exercise. So you learn from others as well, their own experience, and I think that was an agenda. So what topics you are presenting? Just give
I'm
some
doing
idea why
the
you choose the topics. What's the rationale about it? You have 4 topics,
uh,
right? Yeah.
yes, 4 topics. The first one was somewhat on the more basic side. It was just the overview of the effect of additives on rubber products, both from a processing and compounding perspective, and from a rubber product performance, different
Yeah.
stages of the processing, basically. Because obviously we have a massive number of ingredients that go, and classifications of ingredients that go into rubber compounds. Just what are their purpose? What do they do? But then then it goes a little bit deeper. It's like the proportions of them, how they're presented, whether they're granular, whether they're powders, whether they're bales of rubber, this and that, all the the surface area, the surface activation, so many different factors that determine how it will behave. Because at the end of the day, each one is unique, and of many different ingredients, you can get different versions of the same thing, yet they will behave completely differently in the right circumstance. And getting an understanding of why is I would say a bit of a foundation for formulating with rubber. Next is more
Yes,
onto the mixing sides.
that was a good topic. That is a very good topic. I've seen the presentation you have prepared nicely, so it's a really good one. Yeah, yeah. Go on.
It's
Yeah.
one of those as well. You could easily expand into like a day long, because you could go
Yes.
more specific into the specific additive classifications. You could just keep going. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it really could you could probably fill an entire day just with that topic, honestly, because it's quite a broad one, you might say. But I tried to sort of keep it
See,
focused.
yeah. And other thing is I want to add here is that when you make a presentation, suppose in the future, I believe that you had to also train your own team members. So this give you an exercise that, your presentation is ready. You can teach to your own team members, your juniors in the future, or whoever is coming, newcomers are coming. It gives a good experience through this program, also talking about this subject. So yeah. So talk about other topics, please. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very yeah. We'll be likely rotating them in house, just so we've got them as resources going forward, along with everything else. So as you say, it's an opportunity to do that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, more on to the second topic. Yeah,
Yeah. We talk
the
about
next
second
one.
topic.
Yeah, the next one is a bit more mixing related. It was just about the peculiar behavior of natural rubber in
Yeah.
rubber mixing and just in rubber processing in general, I suppose, because it's a quirky rubber, to say the least, and obviously it's quite unique, and it is the most used one in industry in general, mostly because of the tire industry, of course, which is not something we specialize in, but we still mix it, we still sell it, we still still have an understanding of it, but obviously there are uniquenesses about it, that's it being the natural rubber as opposed to the vast array of synthetic rubbers out there. It's a bit more you've got to make certain allowances for it, because obviously it comes basically from latex that comes out of a tree. You can only control that as much as you can synthetic rubbers. Molecular weight distributions and other factors, these are all varied. You have and sometimes allowances have to be made for that. It's also the way it can crystallize. You can literally snap mills with natural rubber if you don't be careful when you're putting it in there. Because we literally had a case of that happening once. It was just a piece of natural rubber that had crystallized, thrown in there, whole thing went apart.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was on its last legs anyway, but And there was an already established fault with the mill in that particular time. This is going back way before my time at Clue. It's a story I heard, but I just heard it was a piece of natural rubber that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's like, yeah, you can believe it, because it can get very hard, and obviously processing that can be obviously hard. Trying to process hard materials obviously is, you know, it can get a bit severe if it's not handled delicately. So yeah, that's just dipping into the specifics of natural rubber processing and the peculiar behaviors it exhibits, really.
Yeah, it's a good topic. It's a good topic, and I saw that also very good way of you putting together. You know, I live in Thailand, so we are the largest producer of natural rubber.
Yeah, I say we mix it, but of course, thankfully I'd been on a course prior where I learned a bit more about natural rubber, so that helped me out a fair bit as well. We've also got books and resources about mixing rubber as well, so I was able to cross-reference those as well. So it was reasonably okay to throw together a presentation on that one.
Yeah.
Next one was just silicon elastomers, formulation and compounding. Properties and compounding, that was it. We do mix silicon at Fluid, that ranging from just general silicon grades to phenol silicon and fluorosilicon. Obviously, they all have different relevancy, different relevant uses, specific properties. They're generally very expensive, so they're generally used for applications where there isn't really another option. But of course, they have their own uniqueness. They have to be mixed separately, because obviously they don't mix well. As a general, it's not always the case, but they don't mix well with carbon black. And obviously, compounding facilities that use carbon black, it gets everywhere. Effort has to be put into mixed silicon, specifically in a clean room, to keep that separate. So yeah, that's just going into the ins and outs of the different silicon grades, what they would be used for, their properties, how different ones handle different immersions, whether it's heat resistance, oil resistance, solvent resistance, which generally they're not so good at, with the exception of fluorosilicon, which is why it's the more expensive one. But it's generally what silicon isn't good at, and you need to put something very expensive in there so that it actually functions. Yeah, that's sort of just an introduction to silicon in general, what it's about, how you would mix this, etc., etc. The last one is FKM, similar for FKM, at least the initial parts of the presentation is just a bit of an overview of the different types of FKM. There's generally 5 of them, varying based on the monomers that go in there, and just the different combinations, really. Again, different array of specific properties that come in based on different ones. Then you go into obviously towards the higher end, the FFKM and the FEPM, I think it's called. I forget. I've gone blank for a moment. And then I've delved further into the specifics of the EU-based REACH restrictions that are coming into place right now, which is obviously sending shockwaves through Europe right now, but has the potential to send shockwaves globally as well. So it's a chance to bring that's obviously a massive talking point here in Europe right now. And it's a chance to convey potentially some of that information over as well.
So you have done 4 presentations, get ready. Okay, suppose we are going to record them soon. Okay, and how you feel once you submitted 4 presentations? Yeah, man, it's over. Or
it wasn't too bad putting them together. It was just the man hours, really, because of course committing time that I could be to other tasks, just putting them together. Obviously, proofreading them, make sure. I'm sure I'll be proofreading them a few more times before I actually do the recording. But I feel a lot better now that they're there as a foundation, and whether or not I make tweaks and whatnot, they're there.
Yeah.
So now it's just a question of tweaking and recording, and then that's all good. But yeah, it did take a fair amount of time getting them all together, and it'll definitely be helpful now that they're out of the way for the time being.
But I can tell you, it is a worthwhile exercise. Worthwhile exercise.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
well, like I say, it's a chance, because it's not like I had all the knowledge just in my head. I don't think many people do, really. I think, but it was a chance to go back and do research on former knowledge, and obviously I learned some new things myself. So it was a good chance to take a topic that, in theory, quite a lot about, build on it, do some extra research, find out some new things. And then obviously have the opportunity to convey that to the rest of the program.
Yeah, cool. Hey man, thanks a lot, for giving all the input on what you're doing, and for this program. We still have close to another 60 to 70 modules to go. Okay. Yeah. Not only that, we do have to, I mean, you will have a conversation with some of the business leaders. You know, we need how they're doing their business, understanding their business, you know. So there will be some business leaders conversations with the one-to-one, probably one to two or people, or two people to one person, so that you have a real interaction. That exercise so is going to happen, you know, starting for.
I'm quite interested in that. That'll definitely be interesting because that's obviously quite a unique opportunity you don't get very often. So I'm very interested to see what comes of that and what how much I'll be able to take away from those.
Then there will be one custom mixer as well from other part of the world. He will be he is a guest. You know, he runs a business of the custom mixing, so you'll have a conversation with him as well. Okay, so it will be, you know, it's if you look at the program, of course, the time management is a key. How you manage your work, and you know, that is definitely, you know, we cannot be extending too long. Okay, but one thing we are doing next. It is batch next schedule is that, you know, you can choose an option of weekend only or weekdays. Okay, so that weekend would be full day, you know, morning to evening. Okay, that up to you, you know. So I don't want to waste my weekend, and then you choose a weekdays. So you have a choice. If you have a choice to people choose option either a weekday or weekend options also. So we look at some of the people's comments, and okay, they don't want to disturb their work. Company don't have a, you know, so many people to let them go for every day, you know, outside the lot of hours, you know. So okay. You know, I really appreciate, you know, your participation in this program, and I'm really enjoyed talking to you, learn about, you know, how you're feeling, and I'm glad that, you know, I'm waiting for the rest of the program to move on, and there will be some assessment tests also coming soon on your way. It's an online test. Okay, it's not about the it is not a memory test. Okay, it's a basically, you know, make you to think, you know, and, you know, kind of reinforce the subject, or, you know, critical thinking about, you know, so those kind of questions format. It will be, you know, very soon we're going to be, you know, announce the date. So so far you have learned on the compounding aspects, a little bit on the molding and extrusion, and will be extensive on the molding process as well coming up in the soon. So these are the programs wait to happen in the next one of the months. Just give you an idea where I'm so far done this one. Okay, I prepared, you know, 50 presentations already. That is 50% is over. Okay, remaining 50% is more hectic as well. Okay, so but it is worth it, man. I can tell you that after the 3 months period, you may feel, yes, you know more than which you know, and at the same time you may able to contribute to the company, you know, whatever the future projects they have, you know. So yeah, I appreciate the time, Zander. It's a pleasure to talk to you today, and you know you have my WhatsApp, so always anytime you have any questions or any comments, you know, feel free to reach out to me, so we make this program as best and as useful to you as possible. Okay, and keep positive energy. Okay, you need energy. It gets drains out a lot. Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing.
Yes. Yeah, that's right, man. Okay. Thanks a lot, Zander. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Guys, that's a session with Zander Byrne. He's a laboratory technician at the fluid compounders. Now you understand about how he is feeling about this program, Executive Diploma 360 degrees, rubber industry technology and management. If you need more information about this program, you can always go to the website diploma.technobiz.org. Okay, I'm hoping that this session gives you a better idea about this diploma program. Thank you all. Bye bye for now. Bye bye, man.